At Mobile World Congress in Spain, Barcelona, Samsung has announced its two new smartphones, the Galaxy S9 and the S9 Plus. While from the look of it, both of these phones won't appear very different from last year's S8 or the S8 Plus, Samsung has also made sure they're not priced as ridiculously as the iPhone 10. There are obviously new features on it, and in this video, we'll tell you all about them. You're watching India Today Tech. Let's get started. In terms of design, the S9 and the S9 Plus are very similar to the S8 and the S8 Plus. You get the same metal unibody design with glass at back and infinity screen at front, which has curved screen at both the edges. The bezels are very thin and there is a 3D touch button at the front. The phone also has same battery as the S8 and the S8 Plus, but this time around the weight is slightly heavier by 10 grams. A big design change would be the shifting of fingerprint scanner from side to bottom of the rear camera. We had said this in our S8's review as well, that the fingerprint scanner's position is very odd. Not only because it smudges the camera, but because it's also very difficult to reach on the Plus variant. So Samsung has put the fingerprint scanner now below the camera. Also, you'll notice that the S9 has single camera while the S9 Plus has dual cameras, very similar to what was rumored before the launch. Another big change that you won't find on the surface is the addition of dual speakers. Samsung has put the secondary speaker below the earpiece and powered this whole setup with Dolby Atmos technology. All of the other good things are also retained on the S9 and the S9 Plus, like they are still waterproof for up to 1.5 meters. There's still a headphone jack at the bottom of the phone alongside the USB port. And while the global variant has single SIM, the India variant will most probably have dual SIM hybrid card slot, which allows you to put two SIM cards or expand the storage. Another big change that lies under the hood is the use of Snapdragon 845 or the Exynos 9810 chip on the smartphone. While globally the S9 and the S9 Plus will be available in three storage variants, 64, 128 and 256 gigabytes, in India they will be offered only in 64 and 256 gigabytes of storage variants. Probably because Samsung offers expandable storage in the India variant smartphones. But there's a difference in the RAM capacities on these two phones. The S9 gets 4 GB of RAM while the S9 Plus gets 6 gigabytes of RAM. Both phones run the Android 8.0 Oreo out of the box, and the Experience UI running on top of the software is very similar to what we saw on the S8 and the S8 Plus. But on those two phones also we saw Samsung has greatly refined the interface, removing a lot of bloatware and adding new features. On the S9 and the S9 Plus, there's the Intelligent Scan and new artificial intelligence based features. Intelligent Scan basically allows the face recognition and the iris recognition to happen simultaneously to unlock the smartphone in tricky lighting situations. This feature may also come to S8 via a software upgrade, but Samsung has not revealed any plans for it right now. There's also support for new Dex station, which Samsung calls the Dex Pad. Unlike the original Dex, the Dex Pad docks the Galaxy S9 and the S9 Plus in a flat position to use the phone's display as touchpad, and also allows them to access the headphone jack. By the time the phone starts shipping, Samsung will be also rolling out an update that will add a touch-based keyboard to it. The Dex station was a nice addition. The Galaxy S8 and the S8 Plus could convert your phone into a full-fledged laptop, but due to limitation of apps and a huge cost addition to the phones itself, they did not really take off as Samsung would have wanted. But this may change with the S9 and the S9 Plus, but only time will tell. Now, coming to the biggest upgrade the S9 and the S9 Plus have with the previous generation phones, it is the cameras. Both these phones have variable aperture cameras, which means that it will automatically shift the aperture according to the lighting situations. The S9 is one of the first few phones to come with variable aperture cameras. Its aperture would change automatically from f1.5 to f2.4 depending on the light situation. I think it's much better than putting dual cameras on your phone for low light photos or for getting bokeh shots. In fact, this is the best upgrade I would say that the S9 and the S9 Plus have in comparison to the previous phones. Now, the S9 Plus also has a second sensor, and the specs are very similar to that of the Note 8. Both the sensors have 12 megapixel resolution and have face detection autofocus and optical image stabilization. Also, the sensor is capable of shooting 960 frames per second of super slow motion video, which is similar to what we saw on the Xperia smartphones. It's a Sony sensor that can take 960 photos in a second and attach them to form a 6-second video that can run in super slow motion. As for the front camera, it is the same as the S8, having an 8 megapixel sensor with f1.7 aperture. But this time around, Samsung is banking on the AR emoji feature as well. Now coming to the price, the Galaxy S9 is launched at $720, which translates to around 47,000 rupees. And the S9 Plus is launched at $840, which translates to around 55,000 rupees. Though obviously their prices would be different in India, we have seen that they are not very different from the US prices, unlike the iPhones. We're expecting Samsung to price the S9 between 50 to 55,000 rupees, while the S9 Plus may get a price tag of 60 to 65,000 rupees. Also, while these phones will go up on pre-order from March 2, in India they are already available on the Samsung store. You can pre-book them right now from Samsung's online store by paying 2,000 rupees, and the phones will start shipping on March 16. We'll be doing our very own, very comprehensive hands-on of these two phones, so stay tuned and subscribe to our channel. Hit the thumbs up button if you have liked this video. Thank you for watching.